Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Adam. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for being on time this morning.
Yeah, I think Chuck missed the school bus this morning, so he was running alongside it.
This is a busy week.
So?
It's a busy week. We have business planning on Thursday.
Yes.
We got these big packets we got to build. We got
Yes.
6 or 7 hours of content. I mean, it is. Plus, I could have canceled this one.
No,
I could have come up with some BS excuse because of everything going on.
Lame excuse.
But we didn't. So there's
Good
no
job.
lame excuse jar for me.
Congratulations on being here. It
Thank
doesn't
you.
matter. You're here before it started.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So here's where we're at. The Success is Easy book, we're still only halfway through, but Adam told me that he was bored with it and that we needed to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
The show's not for him.
I know.
What does everyone out there feel?
Well, so it's okay, I ditched it. I mean, I didn't ditch it, I paused it.
Okay, you can put things on
And so
pause.
Lindsay Courtney gave me a book.
Okay.
And
I
it's
like
called,
her. Okay.
it's from Don Miguel Ruiz.
Okay.
And it's called The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
And it's a practical guide to personal freedom. A Toltec wisdom book.
A Toltec?
A Toltec wisdom book.
What does that mean?
Well, so
It's
I don't know.
great.
See, there she is. She's
Oh,
already
that's
jumping in.
Sarah. That's our new girl, Sarah.
Is that
even.
Sarah? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so she's read it. Oh, so you're the, okay, good. I thought that was Lindsay.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. So, well, good. I'm glad you like it. So, good. You know what? I'm glad you're on, Sarah, because I struggled with this.
Okay.
And I have to be honest with you guys. Oprah endorsed it 15 years ago. I'm going to need some help because this doesn't really work the way my brain works.
Oh, then it's going to be great for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And actually, somebody told me, when I told him I was going to do this, that like Jenny will carry you through this because she'll get it. So now I got Sarah and Jenny, and we got a couple people. So
All right.
So we're getting there.
Okay. We
All
got
right.
this, guys.
So I've been to Mexico City.
Okay.
And so when I went to Mexico City, outside of the town, I wish I could remember what they're called. It's like Tatiacan or something like that, whatever. But there's these pyramids in the city out there that are way before the Mayans, way back, like dating back like thousands and thousands of years.
Okay.
And when I went there and they had all the guides and everything, they don't know who built them. They don't know where they came from. And they are grand, monolithic, amazing,
Really?
amazing structures. Like, and the pyramids and they're connected with the cities that had multiple stories, where like the pyramids are connected with like multiple stories coming through where you could tell. And it's pretty cool. Well, this is where the Toltecs, who were they don't really call them a race. They call them more of like a community.
Okay.
And they were kind of the spiritual philosophers of their day, like thousands of years ago.
Okay, I'm in now. I'm in.
And Don Miguel Ruiz is descended from these people, and his grandfather is where he got a lot of this stuff. So it goes way, way back.
Okay.
And it's kind of a group of men and women in southern Mexico thousands of years ago. They were considered like a community of scientists and artists.
Okay.
And they formed a society to explore spiritual knowledge
Okay.
and the practices of the ancient ones. Okay,
Okay,
I'm just telling you,
Thank
where
you.
we're going. And they met in those pyramids that I told you about.
Ooh.
So,
When did they meet in these pyramids? Like,
Pardon?
When did they meet in these pyramids?
according to the book, thousands of years ago.
We don't even have a date.
No. And the religion, just like most religions, and the whole, premise of them was stomped out quite a bit by the Europeans when they arrived, right? Because, Christianity and Catholicism and all that sort of stuff. So they kind of had to do it in secret
Oh,
a little bit,
I love secret societies.
right? So it's a secret society, right?
Okay.
So it's not a religion, it just honors the spiritual masters who've kind of taught them on earth and who focus on happiness and love and all that.
Okay.
So this is it begins with the story of a gentleman that 3,000 years ago knew that he wanted to be a shaman. He wanted to be, I'm not sure if they would have called him a shaman, but kind of like the medicine man, kind of like a spiritual leader of these people.
Okay.
And as he was going through his studying, trying to find his way, he made an epiphany, which is kind of what the book is all about.
Okay.
And the epiphany is about, I'm made of light, and I'm made of stars. And that's where he started out. And then he started to realize that the stars, which he calls the tonal, are really just a reflection of light, right? Because you wouldn't be able to see them without the sun or without light shining on them. So the stars are called tonal. And then between the stars, the light that's going between like the sun and the stars is called Nagul, which is like in between. Okay, I know I'm strange. I'm just giving you some background.
I'm taking notes because I'm going
The
to.
stars
Yes, our tonal.
and the light in between the sun and the stars is called the Nagul. And he came to this epiphany by thinking about this. And his epiphany was that everything in existence, everything that you see, is a manifestation of God. Okay? And that human perception is merely light perceiving light. So his perception, his big epiphany here was that the real us, the real you, the real Michael, the real Adam, the real me, the real everybody on this call, is pure love and pure light. Okay, I'm getting there, I promise, and then we can start discussing this.
Okay.
So he saw himself in everything that he sees. So he saw himself in a tree. He saw himself in you. He sees himself in everything out there that is a reflection of the light, is that everything, that we are kind of connected to the world, and everything we see is light.
Okay.
So he's all excited. He can't wait to get back to tell his people. So he makes the trek back into the city. And unfortunately for him, no one knows what the hell he's talking about, including me. I barely know what he's talking about. I tried to understand it in the book, and that's why I'm telling you I'm going to need some help.
Okay.
So they didn't understand, but they could see he had this light in his eyes, and that something had changed and was special about him. He no longer judged anyone, had no judgment, no gossip, none of that sort of stuff about anybody. He was just no longer like everyone else. He just saw the world in a different way. So they told him, like, you're a god. We view you as a god. And he smiled and he said, it's true, I am a god, but so are you. We're all images of light. Okay. So basically, it gets to the point where he says, everyone in the world, including everyone in this room, is dreaming. And we're unaware that we're in a dream. We're stuck in a fog right now where the light and the real world and kind of what we're supposed to see is blocked by a fog and a smoke.
Okay.
That you can't really see because, and I'm going to get to it, because the smoke is what blocks us from being able to see like who we really are and how to really perceive the world. So, and then he gives a John Lennon quote, living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. So we really can't see the real stuff. So chapter number 1 is about the domestication. It's called The Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. I think Adam will probably like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen this one before. I did mushrooms as a kid, so.
As a
I'm
kid,
on
wait.
board.
You must have done it a lot. Yeah. So, so it's really just been when you were a kid or lately? I'm asking you an honest question. When's the last time you did mushrooms?
Long time
Okay,
ago.
good.
You're a fun guy. It's all good.
So, well, then I guess this does apply. We're all dreaming at this moment. You're dreaming right now, but our brains are awake. And the reason that we're dreaming is here's where it starts to get interesting. We're all dreaming because you are not who you were born to be, is what this says. And none of you on this call are what you were born to be. When you're born into this system of a society that was already created over thousands and thousands of years already with rules, beliefs, religions, the language we speak, and it's all built on a system built by past people that are in the fog and in the dreams. And so when a kid is little, they immediately hook a kid and they say, we're going to integrate you into the society and give you the expectations of what we expect, and you're going to follow these rules, and this is going to be your religion, and blah, 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 blah. So we learn to behave and to do what we believe or what we're told is good and bad. So when your little kid is sitting in that chair looking at the teacher, the pastor, your mom, and your dad, they're all looking for attention. And as they're looking for attention, they have to follow those rules to get more treats, or acceptance from society. Think about this. We didn't even choose our language. You're born and you start speaking English. You're born to these parents and they're going to have these expectations. And being born into the society of rules, of religions, of the way things are taught, of all those sorts of things, is what the book refers to as the domestication of humans. Just like you train a dog, society is training us as people.
1,000,000%.
Right? So you're just trained. And now, so it defines what a man is and how I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to act. And you as a woman defines your responsibilities, your roles, your expectations. And the more you fall into line, the more you're going to get the little treats and be rewarded. Right? So that being the case, the people that don't fall into the norm of following the societal rules are the people that we judge. And those are our neighbors, other people, and you're like, that guy's this, he's that, she's this, she's that. And it's because they're not following into the societal norms that were built for us. Am I Is this too much, or are you guys with
No,
me?
I've
No,
used that excuse on you.
I have so much to interject, so whenever
Yeah.
you're
Bring
ready.
it. Start.
Okay, here's, from what you've said so far, this is what I also am feeling and thinking.
Okay.
So, yes, when we follow being domesticated, because we're trying to get those treats, every treat we take, we're getting further from God. That is, and that fog is because we are further away from God. So this is one thought. And the closer we get to God, then the fog dissipates. We don't feel so distracted. And the other thought is the dream state is until you pass and you go into heaven. We're going to be in a dream state until you pass or in heaven.
Okay. All right.
So those are just some little.
I like it.
It's been a morning.
I like
and
it.
I've used this excuse on you, like, why isn't this project done? I'm like, I don't fit into your box, man.
Yeah.
I am
yeah.
the light
No,
man.
no, this is not like a message to be like, anti doing any work. I want you to know that you can't use that for this. All right.
All right, throw it out. I don't like this book anymore.
All right. So basically, we're being domesticated like animals. We're being punished and given rewards based on how we act. You're a good boy.
Okay.
You're a good girl. No one wants to be a bad boy or a bad girl. So we're punished many times a day. And everything we do is, of course, trying to be rewarded with attention. And eventually, we start to become someone that we're not, which is the point. And we start to live this life according to the Toltecs and stuff, is that you're so afraid to do anything wrong or to be punished that you never really do anything. You just live in this little conforming box maze.
For sure.
And when other people don't live in this little box maze, you judge them.
Yes.
On the book of law.
And they may be the ones who are even doing better at life than we are.
They could be happier.
Yes. Oh,
And that's what this is all about, is love, happiness, and joy.
Maybe you
So-
should have led with that.
So it takes courage to challenge our beliefs. And so for those of you that joined late, this is the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I mean, just the people that are on the back is, Deepak Chopra said that this is a roadmap to enlightenment and freedom. Wayne Dyer, who's one of the best, inspirational speakers ever, an inspiring book with great lessons. I mean, this book is extremely famous, and that's why we chose. Again, it was also a gift,
And
like I said, from
Lindsay's on now.
Oh, good. Welcome to the. So she missed me explaining the whole disaster.
It's like some Illuminati stuff, too.
It is a little. So it takes
Some eyes wide shut stuff.
Oh, no.
So it takes courage to challenge our beliefs. So we pay thousands, and it talks about humans. If you make a mistake, like if you're an animal and you make a mistake and you frickin' go into a beehive, you don't make that mistake again and sober.
Right.
But if you make a mistake as a human, we sometimes will beat ourselves up thousands of times over the mistakes that we've made.
Yes.
We judge ourselves over and over and over again for
Yes.
the mistakes we've made in our life.
You do it while you lay down to fall asleep.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's, yeah.
Isn't it the truth? So basically, again, it's all about domestication of humans by being in the society that we're in. So
Okay.
in The Dream of the Planet, which is the name of the chapter, it's normal for humans to suffer and to live in fear and to create emotional dramas because we're ruled by fear. But the funny part is, in most religions, you got a comment? Go ahead.
No, you said we create our drama.
Right.
Ah,
We create emotional dramas and all
Yes.
this stuff just to kind of stir up the fact of, again, stuck in this maze. But
Okay.
we try to think outside the box and do things. And whenever we do that, that's not right in here in the norm, it causes all hell in a handbasket.
yeah. Okay.
So if you don't follow the rules, most religions say you're going to hell.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would
Most-
say that's what most religions say, yes.
And so that being the case, it says that most everyone around you is in some form of hell because they're beating themselves up so much trying to fit in this norm and not being who they are.
Yes.
And I'm going to get to a point of how hard we are on ourselves and stuff too. It's coming. So the fog, the dream, is called the mitote. That's what the Toltecs called it. So the dream that we live in, trying to fall into societal norms and be all this normal person and da and do this and be rewarded for doing what everybody's supposed to do, is called mitote. And because of that, we cannot truly be free. So they say our biggest fear is not dying, but it's the fact that we're living our lives and not being able to express who we really are. Is according to,
Oh, no, I get it.
and our whole purpose in life is to live to satisfy other people's demands,
Oh,
especially the people that love us. Your mommy, your dad, your significant other,
Yeah.
your aunts, your uncles, your peers, your broker, your clients, everything. You're just trying to please those that love us. And our biggest issue, according to this, is that we are not perfect. Society's trying to get you to be perfect, and we reject ourselves by trying to be perfect. So it says we wear these unauthentic masks, this social mask of who Jenny, trying to fit in,
Yeah, trying
and
to
all that
fit
sort of stuff,
in.
where really we're dishonoring, and we dishonor ourselves to please others, and then we become self-abusive, and we start to judge ourselves. So society, you said this, comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yes.
We're always trying to be perfect, the way you look, how much you weigh, what your hair looks like, and so, no one abuses you more than you abuse yourself is
Yes.
basically what it says. By trying to fit into society, to look perfect, to be the perfect mom, to be the perfect real estate agent, to do all those sorts of things. So, and it even says that we stay in relationships with people that abuse us because even though they abuse us less than we abuse ourselves.
Oh,
And as long as that is the case.
There was this TV show, The Girls. I hated that show. It was on HBO. It's an awful show, but yes, I continue to watch it. I didn't watch the whole season. But the girl said, because like this person was beating up and saying horrible things, but she goes, "You're only saying everything I've ever said to myself.
Right.
You're not hurting me." And that's what's so sad. We say the worst things to ourselves, but maybe that's a shield to protect ourselves from all the meanness.
And that's why some people stay in abusive relationships, really abusive relationships, because it's still less than we do to ourselves. And that's because of trying to fit into the
Yes.
societal, because we're stuck in the fog. in the
Yes.
dream. So our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves.
Okay.
And so now it starts to change a little bit. That's the prelude to a new dream.
Okay.
And it says we make agreements, though, when we come in, right, to God, to society, to our parents. And the most important agreement are the ones you make with yourself. So remember, this book is called The Four Agreements. So what are the four agreements for you to get out of the fog
Okay.
and to start seeing the world in a whole new way, according to Don Miguel Ruiz?
Okay.
Who are you? What do you feel? What do you believe? And the result is your personality. So you are who you are because you're trying to fit in, right? And when you define joy, you have to break agreements that are based in fear. And that's where I think this kind of ties back in to all of our Monday motivations, to self-talk, to all that sort of stuff. But the first and most important thing, according to the first rule, and Lindsay, you feel free to jump in because I know you got me this book and you're excited about it. So feel free to jump in. But the first agreement is your word. Be impeccable to your word. And your word is power. And it's not just a sound, it's a force.
Okay.
And it's how we express and how we communicate and how we think. So it's a tool of magic only used by humans. Now they say other creatures, right, communicate, but it is our ability to use our words is the most powerful thing in the planet. It can build beautiful dreams and it can destroy everything around you. So if you think about it, according to this, your words, and he takes it to an extreme, but words are so powerful that in Germany in the 1940s, one person with their words was able to activate an entire country,
Yeah.
creating the deaths of millions and millions and millions and millions of people because of the words that came out of his mouth.
I wonder who that could be.
But they also, and they say, his words were so powerful that in 1,000 years, people will probably still know his name
Yes.
because
That's
he was able
horrible.
to manipulate words.
Yes.
And someone's opinion about you one time can change your worldview forever. Someone could be saying, "Hey, Adam, don't you think Jenny's kind of ugly? She's not that pretty." Yet she overhears that. And now forever, Jenny thinks that she's ugly and not pretty.
And now it's like her art school rejection.
Yeah.
Is it?
You gonna run for politics now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's talking about. Are you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, we were talking about the guy from the 40s.
Hitler?
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Got
Yeah,
it.
Reagan.
Well,
yeah.
because isn't that how it all
Yeah.
kind of started? You got
Yes, he
rejected
was-
from art school.
Yes, that is
and-
exactly how he
Yeah.
became.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I'm so sorry. If you had a camera on you, we probably would have got it.
I know. You know what? You can't talk to. Put a camera on.
Oh, okay.
People are getting in the comments.
Oh my gosh, everyone's saying they want to see you. They want to see you. They want to see Michael and Adam on camera. Everyone's saying it. I just see it everywhere.
So if you ever if somebody says you look ugly, and think about the
Oh,
impact that
yes.
has on a kid in school.
Oh, I
When
can
somebody
tell
says,
you
"You're fat.
explicit
You're
things
ugly."
that have been said to me first grade, third grade.
You remember things
sixth
from that
grade.
long ago?
Yes.
So that's the power of words.
Yes.
And that's what we're getting to. So I wish I were smarter. Somebody could say
Yes.
that all day long. Well, then all of a sudden somebody comes up and says, "Jenny, you're really friggin' smart. You are really smart. I don't know if you've ever, you really have it." And then all of a sudden your opinion starts to change. So that's the difference between the negative words that we hear and the
Yes.
positive words. So number one is the word, and we're going to keep going.
So good.
So self-rejection is the biggest sin you commit.
Oh.
Right? By rejecting yourself. And you know what? We're all guilty of that. Even the most confident people in the world still,
sure.
even, fitness models still think they're fat. Even, it's like, so by me saying something offensive to you, but here's what it says, is that if I say something that you're ugly, I'm actually saying that about and to myself. So by me saying something offensive to you, I'm actually offending myself because it makes you hate me. So when you communicate, when somebody tells you you're an idiot, that's a mistake because now you're not going to like that person.
True.
Right? So everything that somebody says that makes an impression on you is actually something that is a reflection of themselves. And so once we stop taking in the things that are coming in from the outside, you start to free your mind a little bit and the fog starts to lift.
Okay.
So if I love you, you'll love me. If I insult you, you'll insult me. If I have gratitude for you, you'll have gratitude for me. If I'm selfish with you, you'll be selfish with me. Do you agree?
Yes. Yes.
So that's a little bit about
Yes.
it. So words basically are the most powerful gifts we have as humans. They can you can plan out revenge. You can create chaos. You can create hate between people. You can create hate between races. You can
awful.
tear apart a family with your words. You can have nations go to war with your words. You can, so it's just the way it is. And it talks a small example. A good woman who was intelligent, great person, was exhausted and came home in a bad mood one night. And her daughter was singing, and she was just exhausted and in a bad mood.
No.
And she yelled at her daughter and said, "Could you stop singing? You sound like shit." And then all of a sudden, the girl, to this day, 20 years later, has never sang again, even though she had a beautiful voice. And no matter what the mom says, she still cannot get that out of her head. That happened to my younger son. He plays the guitar, he kills it. He had a great voice, but somebody told him his voice sucked when he was singing one day. He's never sung again. Brian, never. So anyways,
like
I don't know. So what do you guys think about like the power of words? I mean, you could be in a good mood and someone can say something about your clothes. You look like shit today, and all of a sudden your mood changes. And it says the ugliest thing you can do, Adam, is to gossip.
I never gossip a day in
This
my
is
life.
one of my biggest sins, I really think.
Gossip is black magic at its worst, according to the Toltecs. And people who are suffering want other people to suffer too. So I'm gonna, gossip is the virus to the computer. And someone who tells you that the instructor that you're going to in this next class is a pompous jerk, and he's also a pervert. Now you go to that class, and all you're going to be seeing is a pompous jerk that's a pervert.
Are you talking about when you were a teacher, by the way?
It's a good one.
That was good. Where's the camera?
I have been called pompous. No, cocky.
Cocky, yes.
But if someone tells you that your instructor's pompous, because now you're imprisoned to force to think of someone in a certain way.
Yes.
Someone that you've never met. You don't know them.
And to be clear, I do not gossip out. I only listen to gossip, and I need to do better about shutting people down and not
gossip.
listening. Yes, that is our social nest. That is in our trust tree. How dare you?
Yeah, that's not what I heard about you, Jim.
That is a.
I see Sonia's got some info.
Yes, Sonia.
What you got, Sonia?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Listen, I love the subject of rules. You started out saying that we're all born to be somebody special, and then we begin to form. I wrote down the word molded. We're actually molded by the people, our environment around us as we grow into society. And what is interesting, I hear sometimes people will say about their kids that they're lazy, they're not very smart, or they're beautiful, they're amazing. And it's interesting to watch how those children react to what you're telling yourself about them, whether you're saying it in front of them or not. So the power of words begins from day one on our beliefs of who we are and where we're going in life. What I like to see is the child that is totally different and is okay with themselves of being totally different and can handle being rejected or put down because they don't do what all the other kids do. They're often the kids that are bullied also, but that's another subject. But we have a tendency to follow the rules that we were given to us as children. And those are the rules of other people. They're not our rules. So that's where we find our integrity, who we are, is to really look deep on what your rules are in life and begin to understand that you can make a pretty darn good life for yourself if you follow your rules versus everybody else's rules that have tried to form you over your life if you're uncomfortable. It's a subject I could go on forever and ever. Words are so powerful, and what we like to do in coaching is to elevate people, even at the smallest point. Make sure that they leave strong, make sure that they understand that they are worthwhile. I just could go on and on about it, Chuck, and I don't want to take the whole hour, but words are amazingly strong in developing a person, who they are, and what their future will be.
It is funny, I mean, I keep thinking of the Happy Gilmore where the guy, I don't know, whatever, but the guy's like, take in the good, block bad, bring good, block bad. It's the chi, it's a circle happy, whatever. But
Yes.
but you're right, Sonia, because it is funny to me, and I think everybody on this call can probably relate with you, Jenny, when you said you remember things that people said to you in first grade, in fifth grade, in sixth grade. Isn't that crazy? That's freaking what, 75 years ago?
Yes, 72.
You know what I mean? 72 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like,
Jack?
yes.
Go ahead. Well, I just wanted to interject. I know a lot of you know I'm involved with the kids at Oak Grove. And those are kids who have been verbally abused, physically abused, this sort of thing. And whenever I'm working with one, I never ask about their history. I don't want to know all the stuff that's happened to them or all the stuff they've done. I like to look at them as an individual and teach all the children the same, or the young people the same way, no matter what their past history has been. And it's worked so successful for me. I just ask the teachers and the counselors, don't tell me their history. Let me figure out who they are. So, it's interesting how those tags will follow you all through life.
I love that, Sonia.
yeah,
Don't tell me their history. Let me figure out who they
Yeah,
are.
that's beautiful.
That is really, really great.
That's empowering for them,
Yeah,
too.
it is. It is. Well, and a lot of people, like in the last book we read, it says that success, that when it comes to like looking at people, successful people don't look in the past. They're always looking ahead.
Right.
So, and all those are building blocks, right? And I guess it's how
Yeah.
you choose to interpret those building blocks. But it is interesting. Adam, do you remember things that people said to you?
Nah, I don't give a shit.
Oh, you're a liar.
He's a free spirit.
Don't buy it.
I've always been the different kid, so yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, you were that kid, and it was okay if they bullied you. It was okay. Not okay.
Well, it wasn't okay then, but as I got older, I'm like, I don't care.
But you were able to be different in school. It was okay for you. You were okay not wearing what you were supposed to wear.
I do remember, it wasn't words, but when I was a kid in 5th grade, we had like these weekly math tests we had to take, and they had like this little ice cream cone, and every math test you take, they put a paper ice cream scoop on it. And I remember as a kid, I never got a scoop because I was so bad at math, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life.
Bless his heart.
I know.
Interesting.
I didn't get to go to the ice cream party either.
Really?
Was it because someone used their words and told him he wasn't good at math?
I think my
So-
1st grade teacher told me I had a math block.
See?
Yeah. All right.
That's
You're
what
right.
it
You're
was.
right.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of an excuse too. Like, hey, I got a math block.
I'm not good.
Whatever.
I'm not good at math, so I don't have to stress. I don't have to try.
How about you, Michael? Have you had, do you remember any comments that people have made to you?
Well, I did not have a math block like Adam, but
Well, I probably ruined him and make comments about him all the time.
Oh, yeah, you do. No, definitely.
yeah. I remember words and stuff from growing up. I don't want to say any of them specifically right now.
But they tormented you, and they
Oh, yeah.
probably still do.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy, Jenny? And I have this is an example, but I have somebody close to me that they used to really yell and say bad things to their kid, and I used to watch it. I don't know if you've ever seen parents that parent and do those sorts of things. And I tried to remind her that someday your kid is going to grow up. And when they grow up, they're going to remember everything that you said about it. And I'll bet you, Michael, some people said some pretty hurtful things. I'll bet you remember who they are. I'll bet you remember their names to this day. You do?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that funny?
And I don't know what I would do if I ran into them out in
Yeah.
the world. I
That's crazy.
don't know what
You know, it's just to interject one more time. On that note, I hate to sound like one of those progressive millennial parent type people, but like one thing I read and I think most parents should try is instead of saying like, you're always freaking yelling or you're always hyper, you're always doing this, you should say, that's not like you. You're usually this. And you're doing this. That's interesting. You're acting different. That's not like you.
I like that.
it's.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So anyways, so that's just goes to show. And so number one agreement is words, and we're going to keep
Words.
going. So when we look at the problems, we usually blame the teacher or whatever, but it's usually gossip. So and it could have been somebody gossiping about you, Michael, that you overheard, or that got somebody to say something, or say something about me, or whatever. But people have opinions, like I said again, about people they don't even know. And that pisses me off. Because when you don't like somebody, and you know what, I really thought about this, because there's a couple people that are in the community that I think are pompous, pretentious pricks, and I'm actually thinking about taking the time to go out to lunch with them. And to really challenge this, and to say, you're being short-sighted, Chuck. Like, go find out for yourself who they are.
Yeah.
Is this why you invited me to lunch?
Well, no.
Or can you just, let that go? Say, they're not, and it's okay. They are, or do you want them in your life?
I wanted to test the theory.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because everybody says something, and I want to see if it's true.
Okay.
But they do say that when people do gossip and when you hear those things, it's an emotional poison. And as children, we do this thoughtlessly. You're fat. You're this. You're that. And unfortunately, when you're older, people do it calculated to bring someone down. Because if you watch the media and politics and all the bullshit, it is literally about bringing someone down and destroying them. When you haven't even met them.
Yes.
When you don't know them. And you have your opinions about Trump, you have your opinions about Biden, you have your opinions about all these people out there. I've never met them.
Yeah, we only know false.
We only know the gossip
the media
that's come
wanted
in our
us
ear,
to hear about everyone.
So it's just kind of interesting.
That is very interesting.
But you start to look at it, and here's where it starts to talk about. So it's not just listening to their words, but it kind of ties back into the self-talk. I look ugly. I'm fat. I'm getting old. I'm losing my hair. I'm stupid. And so oftentimes, because of the way I feel about myself not fitting into the societal norms, I'm talking to other people to talk shit on someone else and create gossip so that I can build a connection and feel better about me.
Yes, that's what it is.
And that's unfortunate. And the rule that I've always tried to live by, and I'm not really good at it, but I'm pretty good at it, is don't say anything about somebody that you wouldn't say to their face. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's important. And I think this goes for our clients too. The other thing I think is we really need to try to look for the good in everyone.
Yes.
Because there's a reason that Adam has a couple friends. I haven't figured it out, but the fact that he has friends says that there's probably something about you. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. But so we just have to be impeccable in our words and focus on love and happiness in everything that we do. So, and if you are negative and if you do have gossip, then you're creating negative soil for it just to continue. So anybody have any comments on that? On words that people have said to you? You almost want to say it. I mean, like, I could feel like when I asked Michael that question just now, if he remembers anybody saying anything bad about him, I could actually feel that even after all these years, there's still some pain there over that.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm not going to say it. It hurts so much still to this day, he doesn't want to say it.
And why put that energy out there?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the power of our words are insane. And that's just what we have to be careful and cautious of. And that's why bring in good, block bad. Bring good, block bad.
Yes.
So, according to this, tell yourself how wonderful or how great you are and how much you love yourself. And, you'll get that personal freedom. And as you start to stop worrying about what other people think, it begins to eliminate the fear of things that are holding us back and starts to slowly but surely allow you to live a life that's going to be a little bit more comfortable because you can stand up a little bit more and feel
breathe.
A little bit prouder.
Yeah.
Because I would agree that those fears and those problems and the way people feel about themselves directly is reflected in their business.
Yes.
And directly is reflected in their success.
Yes.
Or their failures. Or whether they're going to be up here with where they want to be with their goals or down here is based on the fears and those things that people have told them.
Like some place that you can never memorize. You'll never understand that. You don't have comprehension. So then they're like, I can never learn these contracts. I don't have comprehension. How am I going to put that all away?
Yeah.
Put it all away. You can. Think about what Sonia said. forget about your past. It doesn't matter what your past was. You're going to be able to, because I know we have a lot of newbies on here. You're going to be able to learn it. It's all fine.
Just like Adam said, he had his math block growing up. Somebody told him that. I'm convinced that the majority of people are not bad at math, but they grew up around somebody in their family that said, math is too hard. It's just impossible.
It's not
You're
your
never
thing.
going to get it. It's not your thing.
Yeah.
Or back in the day, you're a girl. It's not your thing,
This is coming from a guy with a math degree, by the way.
No, but you're taking it away from him. You're taking away what he was
That's
saying.
what we're talking about. There's your words right
I'm
there.
the most toxic one in the room.
No, I think we have two of you.
Who's the other one?
She's talking about herself, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. All right.
Me. But it does say that if you can remove the gossip and the block and try to block out those things that Michael felt about himself, and I've had a couple comments to me over the years too, that I remember from surveys in the company, things like that I probably think about once or twice a week still.
Right, I know.
And it could have just been haters, I don't know. But it says that if you can remove those sorts of things, you can live in heaven in the middle of a society where everyone else is living in hell. Which is kind of a bleak picture but everybody trying to fit into these norms is like, and I'm too fat, I'm too this, and I feel bad about this, and look at my outfit, and look at fat, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it says that they're living in hell by trying to fit into this perfect.
1,000,000%.
Comparison's the thief of joy, right? I just love
And
that.
I know 52 people are on this call. I don't know if I should have said that, but I know each and every one of these people have something of this. And I hope they're all listening and feeling it and understanding what you're trying to say or what I'm hearing. You're all so valued. You all have such gifts. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
For sure. And I remember I took a call from the worst I've ever been talked to in the history of any of my real estate sales ever.
Oh, God.
I had somebody screaming at me so loud that I could hear the spit hitting the phone as they were screaming at me. And it was only because I had to move, and I gave them 30 days notice, but we had to move the escrow closing date up 2 days. And I had to be the deliverer of that information. I know that sounds crazy, but chastised me, screamed in the phone, I'm a piece of shit agent, da da da. And I gave them 30 days notice, whatever.
Yeah.
But I still feel that, and this was probably 20, 25 years ago. However, I did realize soon after that when anyone is saying anything negative to me, especially you realtors out there, this is really important. When anyone is saying anything negative to you or being harsh on you or yelling at you, it's not about you. It's about them. And a lot of times it's about things going on in their life, and it's about how they feel about themselves. So whenever somebody really comes after me and attacks me a little bit, I always kind of like look at them and say, I hope you're okay. I hope you can get past whatever it may be. Somebody flips you off on the freeway for cutting them off. Their anger is not about that. It's about probably something more.
That's what Danielle Todd in the Facebook chat said. Always remember, you don't know what they are going through. They could be walking through a storm on a sunny day. And it's true.
It is true.
It is true. And it goes back to what my grandma used to say. She wouldn't say bless their hearts because that can have a negative connotation. Bless their hearts. It was bless them. Please bless them. Because something's going on with them more than probably we could ever fathom.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away the pain that they're inflicting on you or the hurt.
Yeah.
But at least you're not putting more negative and pain out there.
Right.
Saying bless your heart is just the politically correct way of saying go F off.
It's, preach or love ya. That's F off.
So Lindsay Courtney, since you gave me this book, is there anything that you can think of that I'm missing in this section? Or because when I asked, she hadn't read this book in a long time, and I said, hey, I'm going to be reviewing this book, and I sent her a picture of it today, and she shot me back the 4 agreements, like boom, 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 right in the text. So obviously this has had a big impact on her life, right? So what do you get out of this, Lindsay?
Hi, guys. I've actually read the 4 agreements probably like a dozen times. Anytime that I think going into 2022 with our business planning and everything going on, this is an awesome book because we're always, especially as agents, we're always searching for like where we belong and how to be successful. Like we kind of all drink that Kool-Aid being in this business. I think the first agreement, be impeccable with your word, it fits true because your word is integrity, and your clients, I hate when people call me a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. I'm an advisor. And I like my clients to think that like they can trust me, that my word is my bond, that if I tell you something, I'm going to follow through with it and I mean it. And I think that that's how a lot of people are successful in real estate, is just going through this business and through life, personal and professionally, like with integrity.
Yeah, and that gets you new customers.
I get that. I like that. Okay, so that's number one for her. So, so that being the case, I think number one, I like that, and thank you for this. And you see why? But I do struggle with it a little bit because I'm so used to, like a different style of book. So it's been a little difficult. Go ahead, Michael.
I think Sue Collins has something to say too.
Sue, bring it. Sue
Yeah,
Collins.
the thing that I go back to, I used to listen to Wayne Dyer all the time when I used to drive for hours on the freeway, and I loved Wayne Dyer this was back in the 80s.
Me too.
And one of the things that he said that was very interesting and that really made me look at my reaction to things and people's reaction to things is he made an analogy where if you take an orange and squeeze it, what will come out of it? Well, orange juice will come out of it. It doesn't matter if you use a juicer. It doesn't matter if you cut it in half. It doesn't matter if somebody who squeezes it is upset. It doesn't matter if that person is calm. It doesn't matter if you throw it at the wall. The only thing that's going to come out of it is orange juice. And so you look at now take that to yourself or to anyone else. If you squeeze that person, what comes out is what's inside. And what you need to do is change what's inside so that your reaction to things is different. So if you're not happy with how you react to things, change yourself and you will react differently to things. And that was something that stuck with me for years and years, because I used to sometimes react really quick to things. And I said, why? Why am I doing that? So I always use that as no matter who's squeezing you, if you don't like your reaction, then change what's inside.
That's good. That's good, Sue.
I like it. Anybody else want to chime in on that? Anybody?
This whole conversation, honestly, it's something I always strive toward, because as a woman that lives outside what is considered the social norm, and I love the conversation earlier. What's that?
Explain or don't.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've been successful in my life, but not because of, and maybe it was because people said, you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that, or no, maybe you should do something else. And that's been my motivator my whole life, is those no's were my yeses to myself. So I said, oh, okay, I can't do that. I'm going to do that. And also looking at me, I don't look like your typical real estate agent. I am fully tattooed from honestly my scalp to my toes. But I don't let that define me. So someone said earlier, like, we're put into this mold. Well, I feel like we're moldable like Play-Doh. You can either take away from that Play-Doh or add to it. You can add whatever color you want to it. It's all in how you present it. Is it going to be in a nice package, or is it going to be in a messy package? And it's all in how you speak to yourself. They've done studies where they've played music to certain plants, and they've played nice music and very pretty, like classical music, and that plant flourished and grew. And then they've played like heavy metal to those plants, and those plants didn't do so well. So it's all in, stuff resonates through us, and it changes us, and it either molds us well or it molds us horribly. And we can either live through that or learn from it, or we can progress through it or grow from it. It's all in perception. It's all in positive affirmation. So you can turn it around with just one, you could sit down and have 5 minutes to yourself and say, okay, this is how I'm going to start my day. This is how I'm going to walk through it no matter what comes at me. And like you said, you don't know what other people are going through. And I think if you keep in mind, we're all direct reflections of each other. Like, you can find a similarity in someone no matter who they are. I've started conversations with people, because I've been in sales for a really long time, where it was angry, heated. Someone came at me with a horrible, attitude. And then I found like one similarity, something that I could, connect with them on, like, oh, I've been through that too. I'm so sorry. Let's fix it. Or I found something to laugh about, some kind of icebreaker.
Nice.
And that changes it around. And you find that place to, converse with them that makes sense, and everything changes. So their perception changes, like, oh, okay, well, I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at this. And that totally resonates through the whole thing. Right. So I'm just appreciative of this conversation, because I think we deal with this every day. It doesn't matter what part of our lives. So thank you.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Sarah?
And yes, Sonia.
I love what Sarah's saying because it kind of goes down to what I've just written down. What we have to do is learn to draw boundaries. And we also have to learn from our history and redefine the negative actions into how can I make it to my advantage? How can I redefine what has happened to me as a positive in forming who I am and being able to relate to other people or help other people? And that's basically what Sarah is saying, that she's been able to draw her boundaries and grow from her, who she is, without worrying about other people. And she is a beautiful person just the way she is. She's learned from her history and how to deal with it. And she's also been able to redefine it and go forward and be highly successful. I love it. Thanks for sharing, Sarah.
I like that. I like that. And that does tie back into what we're talking about, because when somebody says something negative, it's usually about them. We talked about that. But there's something in the book that they call the personal importance trap. And it's where you believe everything is about you, and you're guilty of it. I'm totally kidding.
No, I am totally guilty of it.
I know.
And everyone's not thinking about you as much as you
Something
think.
Something can be going on over there, and you're like, I can't believe. I'm like, no.
What
There's a word
wrong?
for this, actually. It's main character syndrome.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny you say that, because that's the next section. That's interesting.
Good.
So it's about them, and it's nothing to do with you. If someone says, hey, she's fat, you're probably concerned that you're getting fat, or whatever. But they're trying to send you poison, and whether or not you eat it or not is what it's all about. So yes.
I do want to say, Lindsay Courtney, I think you need to let us know if we can all use that. Advisor, not a salesperson. That is super,
like that one?
super good.
Yeah.
Like that should be a T-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, I had someone that kind of said that a while back, and I always like to think that. And I think if we kind of take our focus off of selling homes and more advising our clients, then we're doing exactly what this book talks about. We're moving forward with integrity and teaching people to trust us and for us to trust ourselves. And, our word means everything. And, Sue said something great, too, that this book talks about. And it's like, every time, like, think before you speak. Like, anytime that a client or a friend or anyone says something that could upset you, or, don't say something you'll regret. Always think about it and stop and just use your words with integrity.
That's good. Thanks, Lindsay.
That's good.
I love it. And so kind of what they were saying is, so don't take things personal, right? So we talked about that. So, and then it talks about how because each person sees the world through their own eyes. So no matter what they're saying, it's because of their experiences. And it says, and this is what was funny, Adam, you're the producer, the director, the main actor in your own life movie. And everyone else is just a secondary actor. You're going to determine the way this movie goes. And so when these, secondary things come in from the outside, the question is, how's the main actor going to handle this?
Yeah.
Which is you.
That's so good.
Is that kind of what you meant?
Yeah. Oh, sort of, yeah.
But main character syndrome.
So if you live without fear, and love, then, when you feel good, everything around you is good. When everything is great, you're happy. When you're happy, you're more loving. And, even if somebody this is his words, but if somebody took a gun and they shot you, it's not personal generally. It has nothing to do with you generally. It has to do with something within themselves. And sometimes your opinions about yourself are not necessarily true. Sometimes you hear a voice in your mind, and this was interesting. And I thought, I want to see if you guys can relate with this, because this is strange.
Okay.
They talked about how a lot of times you'll hear the voices coming in from the outside all the time into your head. Like it could be like, I'm fat, or it could be, but I think this was more in a positive way to like block out bad things and all that stuff. And they called it allies. In the book, the Toltecs call it allies, that you have allies that are constantly trying to reinforce you and keep you up and keep you strong, that drop into your head all the time. Does anybody have that?
Sure.
Yes.
I thought that was
You got to talk yourself away from the ledge somehow.
Yes, 100%.
That's true. So you have a choice, so. Because if you do take things personally, you suffer for nothing. And that's just basically the gist. So you have to trust yourself and believe what you say, not what other people say. Because
Love it.
It's just the way it is. So if someone is not treating you with love and respect, he says oftentimes it's a good when they walk away. It's really good, because if they don't walk away, if someone's not treating you with love and respect and how you need to be treated to fulfill your own prophecy of being good and being light, then if they don't walk away, then you could be suffering for many, many years. And a lot of people, it says, are suffering in situations where they're suffering because someone is constantly reinforcing those norms and telling them that they're stupid, they're fat. And we see that in relationships sometimes too, and that's why they end. But but we all can heal when they do walk away, is basically what he's saying. It's not taking anything personal, but just make it a habit not to take anything personal. So this goes on for a little bit, but the world can gossip about you, but you're immune if you feel good about you. So break those agreements. You can travel around the world with your life completely open, loving without fear and loving without being ridiculed. It's just a great way to go through life. So that is number 1.
I like it.
That is the beginning. So,
I like it.
So that being the case, I figured the number 1 is the word. We can get on to the next ones next time.
No, I think that is
You actually
beautiful.
did better than you gave yourself credit for.
You did great, Chuck.
It's a little bit of a handful for me for some reason. My brain just doesn't think that way.
Well, it started off crazy. Like there was this god named Imhotep, and
and tunnel.
I didn't write the book, right? If you think
that's the
that
plot to the
blame
Mummy.
Lindsay
Never
Courtney. All right, no, but actually, Lindsay, thank you for bringing this book in.
This was great.
And I do want to just one more time mention that we are going to be having the business planning on Thursday. And I'm so sorry to keep beating on this, guys, but if you're not going, you need to go. We are going to be talking about everything, your spiritual goals, your physical goals, where you want to be in 10 years, and I thought this was a cool little exercise. I probably shouldn't even bring it up. I'll save it for.
Okay.
But just, the exercise of visualization of yourself down the road. We have, assessing your business. We're going to be printing every single person's numbers in the company and telling you where you're at from last year to this year. And if you don't have numbers yet, that's fine. We're going to be giving you analysis of newer people in the last year. And then you're going to be plugging in numbers and figuring out what you need to do and how you need to reach your goals. Talking about passive income and, how can I get on that? Well, I don't have any money. Well, we can still start getting on that track.
Yes.
And getting our mind there with long-term perspectives. And I'm really excited about the content.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
So I don't know if everyone knows. I moved away for 2 years. I flew back for business planning.
Did you really?
I did. And that's when I met Valerie. I did. I flew back for that. I didn't live here. I flew back and...
How funny, from Carolinas.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, that's cool. Well,
it's
this
important,
is a good
guys.
One. The amount of work
Make
that
the
everybody
time.
puts into it too, and we have amazing panels. We have amazing sit-downs with people.
Lunch is provided.
Lunch is provided. It's at Saboba Casino from 10 to 5. Cocktail hour afterwards. And by the way, we're still, I think, have a couple open places. There's a bunch of us playing golf the next day for anybody.
Oh,
who wants to
really?
play. Hit me up, text me if you want to play. I know John Hill and Brian and a bunch of different people are playing. So hopefully you guys can get out and join us. But anyways, really try to make it. Please let Jenny or I know if
text
you're coming.
us. Totally text us.
And if you're on the fence, I wasn't able to make it, try. I promise. The long-term perspective. Where are you going to be from 10 years? We're going to actually give you the time and the paperwork to visualize where you're going to be. When you wake up, where are you going to wake up?
I
what
love
city
it.
Are you in? How's your real estate business look like? Who's laying next to you? All kinds of fun stuff. So it's real, right?
Hey.
So anyway, thank you
now.
guys for tuning in. Adam, anything you want to add?
just like and share, people, and please, if you're not already subscribed to the page, the Chuck Whitehead Show, or Global Banker Associated Brokers, please do that. We have a follower goal of 10,000.
I like it.
So, I don't know.
For what? Is this for Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook.
Facebook. Easy peasy, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week. I'm so looking forward to seeing everybody Thursday.
Yeah, me too.
If you cannot make it on Thursday, change your schedule and make it. Okay? Because you and your goals and your life, it's about that. Okay? It's not about your kids or your family or anything. It's about you. Everything we talked about today. You.
Right.
What's going on the inside? What do I want to do? What kind of impact do I want to make? Where do I want to go? So try to make it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. And we will see you on Thursday at 10 at Saboba Casino. And thank you, Adam. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Chuck.
Have a great week.
Have a
We'll
great
see you
week.
guys soon.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Duffy.